Good evening. Hey, y'all. Hey. I'm going to give the folks a second to come in since there's a delay in the live. I know that people will be joining, and until then, I'm going to sip on my cab. It's Tuesday, so you know it's cab night. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining. Everybody that's coming in, happy Tuesday. Thank you a million times for joining me, Eddie, for the Southern Jet Presents Here I Am. And I want y'all to check in again tonight. Let me know how your day went. How did your Tuesday go? Check in the comments, say hello, like say whatever. Compliment me a little bit. I actually put a little effort into tonight's outfit. I'm just joking. So you're in for a special treat today. Today's episode is entitled Liberation of the Black Queer. You're going to get a glimpse into my life as well as my guest. And my guest today has been my friend for over 14 years. She's known me since I was Edward at Philander Smith College. And for all of those years, she has been the same genuine, authentic ass person that I've always loved and admired. So I'm going to hop right into it and let you all know that if there's no one else that I can be real with, it's the Rev herself, Carissa.
Hey. I feel like I need some theme music. The way you just started me off, I feel so good.
Ooh, I feel good too. I got on my Poetic Justice shirt.
And mine say "Stay Wild."
I always love your shirts and your videos. You always have some cool ass shirts.
Man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna have to
Send
put my
me
link in
some,
the
I'm a
comments.
large.
You say you're a large?
Oh, give me a
I got you.
medium. You know, I want them to show my tits.
Okay, for sure.
Thank you for joining me. And for the night, I need y'all to comment because she loves interacting with
Yeah,
her.
Lord.
So don't be
Talk to me.
chat with us tonight.
Hey, Ellis. Yep. Did you
Yes.
talk to me? I'm
Hey,
so back.
what's going on? I
What
saw
is?
your Wednesday videos. Tell my viewers your other name. Like I told them, especially not after this Cabernet.
Hey, so my name is Carissa, but I also have a name of one of my elevated selves, Gianni Olamide. Okay, now that name is in alignment with who I've grown to become.
Okay.
But Gianni is thankful for God's grace, and Olamide is my wealth is now. Is now.
It's now. That's a song too. So, as I said before, we basically grown up with each other. I remember meeting you as a freshman year and getting so much life. For one, I wasn't gonna be the only queer person on campus, and two, you were so damn prolific. Like, tell me, what differences do you see now in yourself from those four focus days?
Oh man. So I think my freedom has come full circle. So at Philander, so this is 2020. I met Eddie in 2006. That was when we started at Philander Smith College together. And I think there I was just now like getting my feet wet with like being who I am, like figuring out who I am and what I like.
One second. Carissa had some technical difficulties. We shall see what is going on in 1 second. But hello, Brittany. Hello, Cordy. Hello, Shawanda. What's happening? Let's see. We're going to give Carissa a call to see if she can come on back. Carissa says she'll be right back, y'all. Slight malfunction. So, a little backstory. Carissa and I met in 2006 at Philander Smith College, and it was really crazy because Carissa actually went to Girl State. In Girl State, I knew of Girl State because it's a program for high school people who in Arkansas, high school kids, to go, boys and girls, to go to like different parts of Arkansas and actually do like all of their work. So Carissa went to Girls State, and when the girls from West Memphis came back, they told me about this wonderful girl that they had met who was like their senator. She won like the biggest title that you could win. And Carissa has been that same person for these past 14 years. Hello, everybody. Hello, Lexi. Hello, my Tamia. So glad you could join us tonight. We're going to give Carissa one more second to catch the link because I had to send her a link before we made it into the studio. Here we go.
I'm so sorry.
Here we are.
You're doing too much tonight, y'all.
Well, hey, we're live, so shit happens. Didn't Tyra have a miss on Dancing with the Stars?
You know, it happened to all the greats.
All the greats have it. A little flub. So you were talking about like the difference in your.
Oh yeah, I was just figuring a lot out, or so I thought. You know, college is the first time you really get to go away and, you know, let your hair hang down and, you know, kind of explore. And so I think I was still in that exploring place. Oh, y'all talking about girl state on here. Yes, indeed. What I missed.
We definitely brought up Girl State.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So girl state, I was really just figuring it out, like baby figuring it out.
I think you had turned a few girls out in West Memphis, but who am I?
You know, it was so long ago. I can't say. Anyway. But yeah, I was figuring so much out. And I think the only thing is speaking of Girl State, because Girl State was the very first time that I had any inkling of awareness about who I was. Shout out to Amanda Benton because she helped me figure that out while I was there. She was one of my counselors. But I remember when I started talking and people was responding to me in ways I had never experienced. And I remember after like getting elected and like that whole experience, I said, Lord, if I could just talk to people and travel the world and get paid for the rest of my life, I will be okay with that.
Okay.
I remember I was a junior about to be a senior. I remember saying that. And Philander, like I knew I was going into this space where I was committed to like my people and justice and all of these things that I cared about, but had no clue what that was going to look like. Also had forgot that I had put this into the atmosphere that I want to talk to people and get paid and travel the world. So at Philander, United Methodist Institution, you know, it was like, you know, all this organizing and stuff you out here trying to do, you know, you can do that in the church. There can be a place for you there. And I started exploring it, but I didn't realize that place meant that I would have to reshape so much of myself in order to fit there. And I did for a little while. I made it work. As a matter of fact, I went through the process, seeing the whole shebang. And I'm grateful because I needed the exposure and the experience for what it has given me the empowerment and the awareness to do now. But I had to come back out that box because it just was too small for me.
Too small.
And so I'm at a place now where I'm committed to liberation. I'm committed to justice. I'm committed to peace and people and life and love and us being able to come together and live freely, whatever that looks like. As long as we're not infringing on one another's ability to be and harming one another in the process of our freedom, you know, that's why I draw the line at. But up until that point, you know, some people will argue like, hey man, like you borderline sound like a hedonist. And I don't know that I want to deny that, nor do I want to affirm it. But what I can say is I think the difference in me now from where I've been is that I have lived and I have explored from one extreme to another the depths of who I am. And I have found a place that I'm now comfortable. And you will see me and I walk in this shit, baby. It ain't nothing that I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I need to hold back because I don't have a reason to. You know what I'm saying? We got one life. And I don't know how many funerals y'all done been through in 2020, but I done been to one too many. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm
and
here.
So I also saw in your bio, and it reads, I don't put out fires, I set them. Talk to me about that.
You know, I just want to be like Jesus. But he's the one who originated that. He said, I didn't come to the earth to that means that I didn't come to allow things to remain as they were before I appeared. Um and so for a lot of people, the fire is, for me, fire is a purifying agent. You know, when it gets a hold to something, not only is it gonna destroy it, but it's gonna put it in a position to be renewed. And so I said fire is essentially when I come through. A lot of times that's what my presence does. People love me. The fire, the light, it's attractive, especially in dark places. Especially in dark places, it's attractive. But at the same time, there you got to be aware that man, it is what it is. And I am who I am. And the beauty in what I bring in my presence is that there's always going to be room for transformation and renewal in the process. That's what I lead with myself, you know. So how it starts is how it ends. And so I don't make no qualms about what it is that I do.
That is a perfect segue. So your story has been one for the books, honey. What is the importance of creating your own narrative?
Oh man. Creating our own narrative is one of those things that I think historically we've taken for granted. Um, in our cultural reality and the identity that we have grown to set for ourselves, all the way to the things that other people say that we accept about ourselves. And I have just chosen that I want to be a person that whatever said about me, you heard it from me first.
Mm-hmm.
I want to set the table of anybody who's gonna feast from something that they feel like was my tea or my coffee or my any of that. So if you want to do that, just know that I made it for you. And I feel like that's how I think that we as a people should be. You know, responsibility and accountability are things that we shouldn't run from.
Right.
And so any part of my story is mine, and it's mine to own, and it's mine to tell. And we should do that in ways that not only give honor to our experiences, but, you know, that empower us and that uplift us and that keep us going in the direction that we want to go in.
Mm-hmm. So you've been very open with your story recently with your lives. What made you start doing those videos?
Um, so when I left the church, which was in 2017, I went through a period where I was really by myself. And it was a choice because I needed to heal. I needed to address everything that I had been through in my reality. But there was also some isolation that occurred because I was in a place that I didn't know where anybody else was that was in that place. Hey, Courtney. And so one wanting to still be spiritual and not knowing where is a safe place for me to grow spiritually, but not to subscribe to Christianity necessarily. Where can I do that? Because my understanding and my awareness has grown beyond that. And so when I study it and I engage it, it's very different than it once was because the belief factor has shifted. But where are the people who want to do the work? Because essentially I'm trying to self-heal. I'm trying to lick my wounds. And this shit is rough. Are there any other people that are out here trying to lick their wounds and figure out how to emotionally heal themselves and bring themselves back to life? Essentially, I felt like I went through an entire death with that experience of a reality that had become my day to day. You know, and it was completely transformed because I went from one thing to having a completely different life, having to settle into that, the shock of, you know, leaving behind my colleagues, my peers. I went and got a whole degree to work in that vocation, you know. So, you know, but the other thing that I realized is for me, who I am is who I am, and what I've gained, nobody can take from me. Hey, Terry. And in that, everything that I've been called to do, there's always more than one way to do. You know, there's always more than one path to the same destination. Always more than one way to skin a cat. And so with that, hey, come on.
You about to make me share.
But with that, figuring out how do I reshape my own self and where do I tap in with people who are doing this? And I don't know how to go out here and find them because you don't have temples for heathens. Where do the outcasts go when we still want to feel some kind of preservation for our soul? Because at this point, that's what I've become, whether it was one that, was self-inflicted or self-chosen or whatever. There were so many things that even on the inside of the institution, because you got some people be like, oh, you were so much more effective in the church than you are outside, or you should have stayed. You had access to so many more things. And albeit all those things may or may not be true, there was a piece that I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And the piece that I got back, it was so different that I was looking for community. So the videos essentially it was like a way to call people to me who wanted to do their work, who were already in that place, who were like, hey, I'm there. I didn't know you were there, but if we here, maybe we can find a way to do this together. And so when I left the church, I also got my life coaching certification. And a lot of my clients in the process have wanted to connect with each other. And so that's how the alternative tribe was born. And so merge those purposes. So not only clients who are already engaged in coaching and doing the work of self-transformation, but they can come together. And then people who may have never been through coaching, may have never looked for community, have never seen a safe space where people can come together and do this kind of stuff, have these hard conversations, talk about taboo topics, all of it.
So have you given this segment a name yet? Because
the alternative tribe.
No, I mean you said something about Wine Wednesday or
Oh man, the pandemic that slowed us down. But yeah, I do wine whiskey Wednesdays where I just talk about what I call honesty hour. We talk about topics where we really just go in and talk about things that are taboo. We just don't talk about it in the community, or we talk about them, but we put filters on them where we talk about them from a respectability lens, and we don't really get to the meat or the core of the issue. And I'm always a person who liked it. Let me get in that thing. I want to know exactly what the root of the problem is, because if we don't address it from there, then we just addressing symptoms. We're not going to be able to heal, essentially.
Exactly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be your accountability partner because I watched in one of the videos you said you needed better time management. So
yes,
I will be that. So what have you been doing since that video to get better time management so that we can get these videos
out? So how about I got a phone full of videos. I've been trying to get the algorithm right because it matters what time you post per day and you got to be consistent. So like I've been really trying to like learn better like how I can promote myself, but I don't know. Really, if I'm honest, I want to get off of Facebook. I love Facebook, but it is the place where I have the highest engagement. But they go to such great lengths to censor me. So like lately, I ain't been rotating. And so, trying to kind of address that, but I'm finna go to YouTube and go live more there. So I've just started a YouTube page. When you see me promoting that, y'all, please make sure you subscribe. I want to make sure that we're able to really be able to do this. I'm also working on an app to where people
get to all of that. We'll get to all of that. I got some more questions.
You said time management. Yeah, I'm still all over the place.
Well, we got that. That's just how we always been, because like,
but if I gotta get something done, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's why I'm all over the place, because I'm always getting shit done.
So one aspect of your story is service to others in a spiritual realm. You talked about being in the church, but as a theologian, do you consider yourself spiritual, religious, just a G? What?
Man, definitely always a G, but definitely more spiritual than religious. What I have taken from religion is the ability to organize and institutionalize structure for the sake of interest and purpose. And so I think that's useful in our community, but I think we've got to take that structure and repurpose it for our own interests. And that's not necessarily to propagate Christianity. And so spiritually, what I'm advocating for more than anything is for people to get in touch with themselves, know thyself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm
So
like, can
we
you tell I
know.
want to go on?
I know. We have so much to cover, like so much, because there's so much stuff that like people send me that I knew you would be the perfect person to help me out with. So we
Let's
got
help.
to cover. So we know you love the ghetto tales of the Bible. What do you believe in the word?
You said what?
What do you tell people that don't believe in the word?
People who don't believe in the word. Man, I understand, but also tell them you gotta take it for what it is. The Bible is nothing more than a library, and I call it a library because it's 66 books that they gave us in the canon. You want to add the apocryphal books? I want to say it's another 18 there. So it's a library, and each book has to be read with its own background, history, context, and understanding. Because when you start lumping them all together and you start acting like it was all written by the same person in the same time about the same thing, it creates confusion. And so there are a lot of people who are not sound teachers. You know, what I appreciate about the United Methodist Church is that they required a level of discipline in terms of knowing my own information so that I could teach in such a way that made me go deeper. So they made me go deep, but my deep is a different deep, you know? And so, yeah, I'm learning, but you know, what a person gets out of learning is made within the desires of the student. And so for me, I wasn't going to get a degree so that I could be able to rise up the ladder. I was going to learn and get information so that I could get a fuller understanding of my own life worldview and how I was going to be able to share this information with people in ways that it changed their lives. And so for me, I think the Bible still is able to be used in ways that can do that. But we got to tell the truth about it.
That is so. See, I told you Carissa was so prolific. But I want you to talk to me about the intersectionality of being queer and spiritual, or even in the aspect of when you were like heavy into like the church and stuff like that. So talk to me about that intersectionality that you even faced.
Oh, child. So part of my biggest issue in the church was that it was okay for me to be who I was as long as I did not claim who I was, meaning that they had a rule that you could be gay, but you couldn't be practicing. And I didn't understand what that meant because I wasn't practicing shit.
You was a pro, baby.
Hey!
You taught me a few things.
I was so offended. I was so offended. But yeah, and so there was this silencing, you know, like you can be a human being, but you can't be a sexual being. And the only kind of sexual being that you can be is a heterosexual being. So anything that's not heteronormative is unacceptable. And so because that was not true to my reality, you just can't talk about it. And so there is there's a stifling of who you are in that. That is just hard to move around, especially when you got doctrines and rules and the discipline that say that it's a chargeable offense if you're found to be in, you know, any type of non-hetero relationship. And so yeah, the struggle of that, again, I desire to live so authentically that interferes with who I am. I had issues with my soul, with sleeping at night. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like it doesn't sit well with my ability to live in my truth and my reality. And you know how out I was at Philander, but how I go from being out as hell to having to go in the box, like folk knew. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the issue. It was that I gotta go to another city if I want to go to the club. Because I'm a pastor in my own city, and I know that I would be participated in a chargeable offense, like little things, you know. And so it's just about it's a conscious choice about how do I want to live, and what am I willing to sacrifice in order to create the life that I want.
Right.
And that's, again, that come back to, what do you want to be responsible for doing? And
Yeah.
if you cool being comfortable to the point that, you can sacrifice staying in a closet, or, not acknowledging or honoring certain parts of who you are, so be it. That just wasn't for me.
It's the liberation that we're talking about. So I have a few friends that will never go to an affirming church. And I was a member for years, and those years were just as important as it was in my days in regular Black folks church. Folks have said, I know what they be doing. And well, most of the time, you know what a straight pastor's doing, but you still take your ass there to get admonished to hell because of your sexuality. But I've been to church in forever. I would blame it on COVID, but shit, even before COVID, I went to church. And I have a strained relationship with the church. I can't explain it, nor do I feel the need to go into like a deep find in this era. I know that I have a high power, and I still believe in those elements of being the church queen, but I'll never get rid of that. But what do you say to people? What do you have to say about what's called the gay church? Forget
You
the
said,
people.
what I have to say about the gay church?
Yeah, the quote unquote gay church.
I mean, the church is the church. We are all children of the Most High. At the end of the day, we got to be able to affirm that within ourselves. I am beautifully and fearfully and wonderfully made. I am made in the imago Dei, the image of God. And so what's unfortunate is that you have so many people that identify as LGBTQ that are looking for something to believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because that's why a lot of people go to church. A lot of people don't go to church because they're looking for Jesus. They go to church because they hurting and they seeking healing and they don't know where else to go. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, when you have a problem in your life, you go to your pastor or your imam or that person who is, the community center, who's able to help you problem solve and conflict resolve and those types of things. And so, what I'm so dismayed by is that our churches have done such a poor job being able to love on people who don't identify by traditional Christian standards, because we all still made in the image of God. And so even when churches are not affirming of that, or they feel like you don't come or you don't pay your tithes, or you don't fit the imagery or the I don't even know what to call it, man. The rhetoric. The shit that when you don't look how they want you to look, you don't act how they want you to act, when you don't fit the mold, when when you walk in the motherfucking church and all eyes is on you. Okay? You gotta walk in that motherfucker like you going in the club, okay? All eyes on me, and it's okay because I know what I came here for. I know what I came here to get. So if you came for some level of healing or encouragement or some level of uplifting, you got to get what you came for.
Right.
And you got to be clear about that. Hey, bro, good to see you. And what I'm clear about is that we got to go to places where we can get what we need safely. So if we can't go to the church and get uplifted, get encouragement, get prayed for, get somebody who gonna look us in our eyes and say, baby, it's gonna be okay. If you can't get that and it's safe in the church, then you gotta go where you can get it at.
Right.
And sometimes that's your friend. Sometimes that might be me on the Facebook Live. It could be anybody, anywhere. Angels show up in all forms. So we always have to be mindful, that we are aware of what we've asked for, of what we need, because the spirit is always responding to us and leading us to what it is we need, helping us get there. So, we got to be clear about that. But a lot of times we move mindfully unaware. We have needs and, we're not looking for the answers.
No.
A lot of times we're looking to drown it out. And so, we say we got to be clear about what it is we're doing. And the rest will reveal itself and make itself clear.
I think that is an awesome point, because when we do go seeking things, I have found that when I go seeking things, I have found it in these comforts. And so a lot of that comfort came from discomfort in, church and stuff, a lot of that. But what I do feel that a lot of people's hesitance of going to an affirming church is fear. So let's talk about that word. Forget what I was going to say. In 2006, Miss Rodgers, I'll put that in the after show, honey. In 2006, Miss Rodgers gave me this nugget, like false evidence is appearing real. And one thing I've noticed is that so many people have untapped potential, but the fear of whatever overtakes them from moving beyond that hole, like, I don't know what it is. What do you think people are so afraid of in their own greatness? Or in other words, what's holding us back?
Fear is an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, whether it be real or imagined. Triggered by the perception of danger. There are all different things that present the potential of harm to people.
Mm-hmm.
People are invested in different things. People are concerned with different things, and people are motivated by different things. And that varies from person to person. And so I'm one of those people who believe the more that we know, the more confident that we are. And that includes about ourselves. So when I find people move in fear often, I feel like it's because they ain't sat still long enough with themselves to have an awareness about who they are, what they doing, what they like, what they need, their own proclivities, their shadows, they good, they bad, they ugly, they indifferent, in order to still have a confidence in navigating those things. At which point fear becomes the ruler. And so vibrationally, there are two ways that we can move. You can move up, high vibration towards love. That's your confidence, your joy, your peace, your long suffering, your all your what you would consider fruits of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you move downward towards fear, it is what we would call negative vibes. Your anger, your jealousy, your being afraid or frustrated, irritable, all of envious, all of those things. And so we got to be in a position where we can identify the things within ourselves that cause us to act that way. Mm-hmm. And so again, that's why I say it all goes back to self. And until we get to a place where we willing to sit still long enough with our own selves and deal with our own shit in as many different forms, which is why on my lives, you'll hear me push a lot of times getting in touch with your subconscious. Your subconscious is the seat of your emotions. When you watch how people deal emotionally in their relationships, in their professions, in their interactions, in their conversations, their communications, when you watch people's emotional characterization a lot of times, you'll see that, man, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker say. I can watch how you move in your emotions, and I can see whether there's a coherency with your words or not. And oftentimes we are emotionally unstable. We are, and we don't emotionally know how to deal. But who teaches us how to deal with our emotions? If I go back to what I was taught as a child, emotional repression was what I was taught. Because you got to keep going, and we ain't got time for that shit. Not because I don't love you and I don't care about what happens to you or your feelings, but because I don't have the capacity. And so as adults, we have to create the capacity for ourselves. And again, we got to seek out spaces where it's safe to be able to do that. And church is also one of those places that don't lead us oftentimes deep enough into ourselves. And the ones that do, you know about those churches. You know, folk nationwide know about an E. Dewey Smith. Folk nationwide know about a Freddie Haynes. Folk nationwide. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm dropping because, again, when you start talking about this kind of work where people are actually engaging folks spiritually to go inside themselves and have some type of a transformation, you get an entirely different focus. The focus becomes on you, because when you get your own shit together, you become better for yourself and your people.
So there's work that needs to be done. You talked
Always
about putting in work. So what type of work have you done to tackle some of your fears?
Everything that I promote. So when I talk about this period of me leaving the church and being by myself and in isolation, that was the beginning of the process. And so a lot of that was sitting down and surveying my own beliefs. about myself, how I felt about myself and my own worthiness and what it was capable and possible for me to have since I had gave up the traditional dream, and when I say traditional dream, I was 26. I was pastoring a downtown church in Little Rock that was fairly affluent by a lot of people's standards. We had a budget of about $350,000. A lot of Black folks don't manage budgets that big. I had a staff, I had a nice pension, nice salary, housing allowance, what you call it, pastor's discretionary. I had a lot of different things by a lot of people's standards. It's folk who've been in their fields a long time who don't have this. You know what I'm saying? So again, so like when you talk about giving that up, number one, the plan to be able to do that is major, but two, the backlash of that, because everybody got opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody got ideas about what's best for you and what you should have did and what would have been better for you. Everybody know best for you. And so there's a part where you got to sit down and you got to tune the noise out, tune the voices out, the people. Like, I understand why Jesus took 40 days and said, fuck y'all, I can go be by myself. I can't keep listening to all of this. You know what I'm saying? I have to drown out the noise. And the only voice that I need to hear is the one of the Spirit. And I need to be able to be still enough to commune and get downloads about what it is I need to be doing next. And so I can't tell you how many different things that I have actually attempted to do in the process of me having been gone from the church. I have dabbled my hands in several different things, all the way from marketing to real estate to business development. And I still do a lot of different things because I'm knowledgeable and I know how to put things together and be able to use them to ultimately make them work. But I know my call is as a healer. And what that looks like for me is done through education. And I can show you how to do it, but the way I hold your hand is very different than me doing it for you.
Yes.
And so that's it. I went in the dark by myself. I can show you how to navigate it. That's what I have learned. And that's where a lot of folk get, and then they're like, no, I want to go back home. It's too much. And it's like, no, the only way out is through. Ain't no going back home.
No.
Where is home? If you was at home, you wouldn't have left that motherfucker. You wouldn't have. But we on the journey. We searching.
I got some extra good shit for you for the air. Oh, wait. So, I think that is that's very deep because for me, like, that fear was so deafening to where I would not do so much, to where now I'm thriving in so many areas where I thought I never could do because I transferred their energy from their fear to things like resiliency, like tenacity, and like so many other words that you could think of. But at 32, I wish I had placed this when I was 18, but I appreciate my journey and I'm grateful for that journey.
That's it.
So another big word is power.
Yes.
In the Bible, it says that power of the life and death is in the tongue, right? So what can you say about manifesting our dreams, goals, and aspirations? Why do we need to believe in speaking these things over our life?
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is not only does life and death lie in the power of the tongue, but if your tongue is lying, your spirit gonna know it, and you still ain't gonna manifest shit. And I don't think a lot of people know that. Manifestation is not a.
That's something new for me. Like, I'm learning. Like, I'm laughing because this is new.
Yeah, because it's not about what you say; it's about the depth by which you believe it. And so when we look now, you want to talk about whether the Bible is useful. John said, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And then you go into Genesis and you look at creation, and everything that's created is created on the merit of what God said. God said, "Let there be light." And the next sentence say what? And there was light. And so there comes a point where we have to, again, inventory what our beliefs are. Because if you believe something that's in direct conflict with what you're affirming, you ain't gonna get that shit. And you're not gonna get it until you go back, until you address the belief that's hindering it. Prime example. Motherfuckers walk around talking about I'm broke all the time. I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I can't do it. Not all the negative around their finances. But then we'll turn around and look at a video and start saying, money that I want wants me. No, motherfucker, you broke. That money do not want you. I don't give a damn how long you affirming to yourself that money don't want you, because you don't even believe you can have that money. Your spirit knows it. So you can affirm all day long, but until you go back and you address what it is that keeps you in the belief that you broke, until you change your story and say, I'm not broke, but the money that I desire is on its way to me. It just ain't made it yet. That don't mean you broke though.
Don't mean you broke.
It's a different story. And that's why it's important to create your own narrative, because we take things from other people and we apply them to ourselves all the time. You will never hear me talk about people using terms like broke. People are not broken. We are not fucking machines.
Ooh.
We don't break. We might have times and experiences where we experience contrast to the things that we desire. We might have things that make us uncomfortable. We may have things that keep us from feeling peaceful or what we would consider happy. We might have those times where we experience discomfort, dis-ease, confusion, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't never broken. We always have the fortitude to be able to repair, to be able to recreate, to be able to be re-empowered. We regenerate on our own. And this one, I talk about the importance of us being able to know ourselves. Even knowing our body as an organism would let you know that all your cells will regenerate themselves if you give them the proper things that they need. We're required to make sure that we give them what they need in order to do what we need them to do. But that requires us doing our part. And if we don't know what our part is, again, we got to sit still long enough so we can get the learning, get the downloads, get the information, allow our spirit to speak to us so that we know how to move. We live in a society that tells us by virtue of capitalism to do. And if you're not doing, you're not being productive, you ain't worth shit. That's what society teaches us on the basis of capitalism, because your body in many ways has been monetized. And the monetization of how we see our bodies and what it produces for us also impedes upon our ability to be able to give our spirit what it needs. And so we've also got to be mindful that as much as we are physical beings, we are spiritual beings, and our spirit needs just as much attention as we give our body 3 meals a day and 8 glasses of water and make sure we go outside and get sunlight and we exercise and we move around and all that shit. You got to give your spirit attention too. And so that's the only thing I want to promote to people, because until we get to a place where we start dealing with our spirit, the world is never going to be different. All the problems that we got are fucking spiritual problems. All of them. And we lazy as fuck when it comes to our spirit. We don't do no spiritual exercises, acrobats, none of that. I encourage people to pray, but praying is not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
More. You really have to
spend time with yourself. And when I say by yourself, I mean one-on-one. Meditation is a good thing. Silence is a good thing. Learning, reading, empowering your mind is a good thing. Being able to sit and go through and do some emotional. I just did a free 5-day emotional healing challenge. Okay, where is the group? I'm gonna have to put the link in the Facebook, but it's free and it's got a whole workbook. The workbook works you through the questions to ask yourself and the practices for you to engage in order for you to be able to begin finding different ways to address your emotions. 5 different ways, one for every day. It's free.
Free.
But we don't value free shit. And we don't want to pay for the shit that we need.
Ooh, Carissa, I'm about to okay. Shut up. I'm finna move on. So one thing that I have spoken over my life is kind of what you talked about. It's a little bit similar, but it's really just being present And when I'm hanging out with my friends or I'm hosting an event, there's a million things running through my mind. And I know I struggle with it, but I'm legit working on being in the moment. What does it mean to be present with yourself?
It means not to be preoccupied, because yesterday has already passed and tomorrow don't exist. Nothing else exists but right now. This conversation that we having right now, this is all that exists right now. Anything else is a projection in my mind. And if I'm projecting in my mind, I'm not here with you.
Okay.
You know, and so a lot of times we be with people who be in their head all the time. They never be present. I have been guilty of it. My friend, y'all know how I've been. Shit, I got friends that be like, friend, drink, don't think, okay? Be here with us right now. Cause your ass, you get in your head, you go on a tangent, you be talking all night. You know, I'm guilty. This is how I can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? This is why it's important to be authentic, because I don't talk about nobody else. I talk to y'all about my own fuck up, okay?
Okay. So what do you suggest for people that are struggling with being present?
They gotta practice. What I just offered is one of, that's an affirmation that has helped keep me recentered. Yesterday has already passed. Tomorrow does not exist. The moment that we have right now is all we got. What are you going to do with it? And every time I ask myself, what am I doing? I become very conscientious of time. And there's two types of time. This is where the value of being a theologian come in, where they make you take all the fancy classes and shit, okay? I had to take Korean Greek when they taught me it ain't just one time, it's two times. And the time that we tell time in is the chronos, chronological time, come from the Greek. It's the time you can measure. And you also have what's called the kairos, which is what is considered God's perfect timing. It's not a time that you can measure, but it is the essence of being in the right place at the right time, or things happening in divine alignment, or everything just lining up. And when we ask ourselves, what are we doing? And that's, I mean, you know, I probably need to put that on a bracelet and start handing them motherfuckers out. What am I doing? It brings us into awareness of a conscientious that, number one, all that we have is the chronos, these few moments, but we need to always be using them so that we do our part to make sure that the kairos is working in our favor. Meaning that the divine timing that we have, we are taking our active steps to align the things that we need to align so that we can go where we're trying to go. We creators. And until we own the power that you was just talking about, we're not going to create what we want to create. We're going to create byproducts of our unknowing.
And that right there, people, is a word. I need you to put that on a shirt, on a bracelet, like you said. I need you to tweet it so I can retweet it. We're going to go viral. But let's move on to an even bigger word for me, okay? Now, this one I did not put in our notes, but love. I read that you be giving relationship advice. We both had our share of romantic flames come and go. What taught you about relationships?
You said what taught me?
Like, what has that, like, because we've...
What have I learned?
Yeah.
Oh, child. Okay. Well, number one, relationships are essentially agreements on how we're going to deal with each other. And in all our relationships, I think it's important for us to be honest about who we are and what we come into the table to be and to do in those relationships. And to honor ourselves and to honor other people. And I say to honor ourselves because a lot of times we want certain relationships with certain people so bad that we dishonor ourselves to have them. And so I think it's important to know who we are, to know what we like, what we want, so that we can honor other people when we're in relationships as well, you know. And all of this comes back to self-knowledge. You know, the more of that we have, the better I know myself, the better I'm able to help somebody else know me. and I'm able to be open in knowing them, you know. And in terms of creation, I think love is infinite. It's one of those things that we treat like there's a scarcity on it and it ain't enough to go around for anybody, because so many of us have experienced fragmented versions of it. But I think that experience is rooted in the belief that it ain't enough out here. And what I hope that we understand about love is that that's how we were created. That's the essence of our nature as Black folk. You know, we thrive in it. And when we have it and we know that we are abundant in it and it has an abundant nature, and we continue to move in that and create in that, man, we create space for each other. And it's my hope that as we engage in relationships, that is a part of our foundational purpose for being in that relationship, is to be better and to help whoever you in relationship with be better too. You know, in any kind of relationship. I'm talking about your family, your friends, your mate, yourself, your boo, whoever, you know. If we love something and we love somebody, that's the direction we should be moving in. That's why I said it's only two directions we can go in, and it's towards love or fear. And if you're moving in love, it ain't no fear in love. Love, perfect love casts out all fear. Now we back to the scriptures.
Love is patient. Love is patient. Love is kind.
It is not envious, boastful, or rude. It does not insist on its own way.
You, because we're going to move on to a little business. Okay, I'm itching to get to this after show. Talk to me about the alternative. I'd love to learn more.
Oh man. Okay, so the Alternative Tribe. We've got a page on Facebook at the Alternative Tribe. Also got one on Instagram. We got Facebook, a YouTube page as well. I'm doing better about making sure I got shit on every channel. But essentially, the Alternative Tribe is the tribe for the soul seekers, the soul searchers, the ones who are not necessarily connected to a church, but are definitely spiritual. Those who want to be responsible and accountable for their own healing, growth, and development. Those of us who want to do the work. Not only do we want to do the work, but we want to be with people who want to do it too. Because as we get better, then we can also put other things in place to help the community and the world around us become better as well. And so I've got a website, alternativetribe.com. No www. Okay, no www. There's alternativetribe.com because I broke the site and I ain't figured out how to fix it yet. But yeah, alternativetribe.com. Also, if you need any coaching services, also business development, organizational development, strategic planning, any of that, revthebrand.com. And so
this is it, right? Like the alternative on Facebook with the people.
Yeah. Let's get together and believe in each other.
Baby. Why did I not know about this? There's over 30,000 people.
Because we be working.
I live. Well, you know, social media is what I do. So whatever questions you have, you know you can reach out to me at any time.
Yeah, and please follow the page, man. We post motivational stuff all day long, you know.
Just did. I'm following on all platforms.
We just put out motivational stuff. Y'all will see me on there. I do videos. I go live on there as well. But also I release courses. So I've got a course right now that's pandemic friendly. You can do it right at home. The power of overcoming obstacles in a pandemic and beyond. And it's 4 modules of how you overcome things. What are the practices that you employ in your life practically to help you overcome things, especially when it's hard, when, you know, kids ain't acting right. It's a bunch of things outside of your control that you need to be able to navigate and maneuver. Again, we also got that free 5-day emotional healing challenge that's on there. And as I said, just step in, y'all. A manifestation miracle on there, which is a course in how to do the reprogramming of your beliefs so that you can begin to increase the manifestations and fasten or enhance the time that you're able to do it in. Several different things, but they all about healing, growth, and development. That's what I'm on out here. So if you want it, man, tap in, hop on with me.
I'm tapping on in.
Hey.
Okay. Can't wait to share
That's
this
it.
stuff. So, what other business ventures are you working on besides rapping? Because I know you're going to give me a feature on the album.
Man, so yeah. So I really have been working on an
Did you see my
EP.
rap? Oh, wait. Did you see the rap I posted? I'm gonna have to tag
I
you in it.
did. Well, how about your time about your video? Your video's been killing me though. You gonna go viral here in just a minute when I tell you, and I don't know which one it's gonna be because
It was that
we
Tina
cut
video.
now.
Everybody loved that Tina video.
You ain't cutting up, but I want to do a couple covers though too. I'm finna get some attention of some people. And so yeah, I'm gonna do a couple covers. I got one I think you should hop on with me. We're gonna talk about it though.
Yeah.
You can do the videos. I think you could be like the video production person.
I'm so down.
I know it, hey, because whoever be putting yours together, which I know is you be doing awesome. So, but yeah, so there's that. And I've actually been writing as just an artistic like habit. I know, I used to do like the little talent shows and stuff at Philander, but like I haven't done nothing since then. And so
Wow.
nothing. So there's a part of me that's like, you gotta quit just writing and keeping it to yourself. Because there was almost this part of me that felt like I was kind of like hiding in the shadows. And so yeah, I'm gonna start dropping that. But Rev the brand is where I do education consulting. And so I've got a variety of specialties, but specifically history, Black culture, identity, political analysis, also diversity, inclusion, belonging, equity, community organizing, community development, strategic development, strategic planning, organizational development, profitability, marketability, things that are related to businesses.
Shit for you, okay?
So yeah, I mean that's what the church taught me is how to run business. That's what I'm gonna tell
Mhm.
you. And that's what I can appreciate because as it relates to organizational development and structure, that's the one thing in the Black community that we struggle with. We can get some shit started, but as it relates to getting it organized and getting it in position to be profitable, or to be marketable to folk who might want to invest in us or who might want to, sow a seed or help us out, we got to work on our structures in a lot more ways. And so I've seen this as a vehicle to be able to help us transform the way we organize ourselves, and the way we heal ourselves in the process of coming together as we organize. So yeah, if you need some of those services, tap in by all means. And if the prices deter you, still send me a request, because I do have a sliding scale.
Okay, and we will be putting those in the comments. But first, tell us verbally, how can people find you if they want to follow along?
If you want to follow me, you can catch me on Facebook. My name is Carissa Rodgers. First name spelled just like that. Rodgers, Rodgers. You can catch me on Instagram at spiritual plug _. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not really on Twitter. But if you on Twitter, my name on there is class KLASS _sick SICK, because I don't have nobody that I'm following for real that like keep me on there enough. But I like to be on there because you're supposed to tweet like one after another. I don't really want to use Facebook like that, but I've thought about it.
Yeah, Twitter is where it's at. I'm gonna help you because I
I gotta
remember
figure
that
out what it,
handle. I
I gotta
remember
figure out how
that
to get folks to
handle.
follow me back. Folk used to do follow for follow. They don't do that no more.
No.
This
So
bougie bun.
next, outside of that, like what are you speaking into your life next?
Oh man. What I speak into my life next is really a village. I've been talking for a long time about building a village, but um, it's what I see the alternative tribe developing into. So essentially, a network of the things that Black folk need in order for us to bet on ourselves. So that includes everything from economic development, education, having our own cultural and artistic endeavors as it relates to entertainment, creating communication mechanisms, um, our own means of self-governance, and the land to be able to do it on.
Well,
So you asked me about other things. I also have a real estate investing firm. And so if you if you're interested in learning about real estate development, and you're in Arkansas, I think I'm about to put together a group here, a learning group, where I start teaching folk how to hop in there, where we can actually be able to benefit and hold the land, and not give it away in the name of profit, but be able to use it and come together and create with each other and for each other.
I live. So, give us your final prolific words.
Final prolific words. Well, I don't know that any of them are prolific, man. But all I can
Wow.
say is we ain't got we got no time. But right now, what's that song on Rent? No day but
Shout out to Wesley, an old friend of mine that you introduced me to.
that's it. That's all we got. All we got is today, and all we got is right now. So as we prepare to leave from this place, but not from each other's presence, man, just be mindful that all we got right now is all we have is right now, and all we have is each other. Everything that we need is within us. We be looking so far outside ourselves to be able to start shit, do shit, make shit happen, and all we got to do is hit go. We the ones we've been waiting on, and we the ones who get in our own way. So I just encourage you, as you ask yourself what you're doing, that you do something that you know is going to empower you, empower your people and your loved ones, and going to lead you closer to where you want to be. Speak those things as though they were, and believe in your heart and your soul that they are that, and they shall be yours.
Carissa, it has been a delight. You are exactly why I started this season. Enlightenment. I wish Hey, wait. I'll say namaste. Thank you
I
again.
love you, baby.
Please don't go far because we're doing this after show.
Okay, hey, you know I like to party.
Thank you again, boo.
All right, thank you.
And a huge thank you to all of you that have sent love, that have left comments, tuned in, shared the live, all of that. I see you. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media handles and stay tuned for next week's episode with the fabulous Chi Chi. Love y'all much. Spread love, because I love y'all. Ciao.